Hey, I'm Matt with Schematical, and today I've got the second round, the intermediate event that we ran through in the live event back in February here. So they solved it pretty quickly without much help from me. I did give them a little hint there, but they were crushing it. Did a great job, Leo. Great job driving. Thank you for doing that. If you're interested in participating in one of these events, check it out. Sign up at cloudwargames.com. All right, we've got async challenges, so I send you like little challenges that you can run on your own time, on your own AWS infrastructure and solve those. Or you can jump in on these live events here. We got another one coming up. So if you want to get in on that, you should sign up at cloudwargames.com. Without further ado, I don't know why I'm pointing over here. How do you like my new camera setup? Still working on it. Just for reference, as we're about to go here right now, for the application layer, a request comes from the internet, hits the API gateway. The API gateway invokes a Lambda. So the network packets go from here to here, but they actually don't go from here to here. What happens is this thing takes the network packet, changes into JSON, and then passes that into a Lambda that it boots up, and then this thing shuts down or sends back a response and shuts down and there. So that's the other half of this thing. Also, I should note that both these two are feeding off of an ACM cert. So we'll get into that later. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Nice diagram.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I aim to improve it. I'm getting all sorts of ideas for it. With that said, I'm pretty sure I've already broken the site again. So let's see if it's broken again. Is the site broken again? www.explodeme.com.
Yeah, I see.
Everybody's favorite
Yes.
nondescript error message.
All right.
Internal server error.
So Leo, would you care to drive this one?
Yeah.
Okay. And Juan, if you happen to immediately guess the solution to it, maybe just let them have some fun with it. You threw out the solution in like 10 seconds.
No, but the previous one was able to see from the network request. This one is actually tricky because it's just server error. Could be anything. It's not easy this time.
Okay. All right. And I'm kind of glad Jonathan's on a phone because that holds slows him down a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely ties my hands quite a lot.
500 server error is what I see, which means
Yes.
nothing's coming back.
Yeah, so I think this points to something definitely like we're not going to get much more out of like the console or the browser. Points definitely to something obviously in all cases wrong with the infrastructure, but yeah, wrong with.
I guess it's API gateway. That's called after you said.
Yeah, maybe.
What was that?
Maybe we should go to the CloudWatch logs to see if we can find an error. Yeah, I think maybe to the previous page, sorry. Maybe to the bottom one. Execution logs could have something useful. I'm not sure, but yeah. Speak the first.
If you search, you can just search all the
or just search for the error word, something like that.
Yeah, I mean just search for sometimes 500 or error.
I just did something to make this just slightly easier for you guys, by the way. So you're on the right track. I'm gonna go with that.
Actually, I just saw an error log. There we go.
Due to configuration error.
Look at the date on that one.
It's not. Yeah. It's pretty.
Yeah, I should probably set my logs to expire sooner. I'm gonna make note of that.
Log stream. No, I don't know much what to look at for this.
Juan, what was your advice to find it in the logs there?
I mean, we already checked API gateway logs, although that looks like I mean, it could be even via an error sent by the Lambda. Could be 500.
Yeah, might be the Lambda.
So some things that come to mind that could cause like a 500 is that like the API gateway doesn't even know where to send the traffic, that the Lambda is sending a bad response or not responding to the API gateway.
Yeah, or maybe the API gateway is not properly configured.
So we could like look at the logs of the Lambda directly if we go back to the.
The problem is that the Lambda is not even invoked. If you look recent invocations, it prints nothing.
It's oh yeah.
I think you put 3 hours in the time. It's too long. I think maybe 10 minutes should show us the latest. Maybe in the top of the page, or well, maybe just filter the recent logs because that's showing like 3 hours.
Hours of logs?
Yeah, I mean, a trick here would be to just go back and refresh the page and then just show it for the last like 5 minutes or 1 minute. So go back to the website. try that request again to explodeme.com, and then you can filter the logs down to
Yeah, on the top.
just 1 minute.
Yeah, still not invoking. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you have adjusted the time. You go to the top of that page.
At the time, I think it's
Yeah,
local time zone. Yeah.
yeah, it's set to 3 hours. Like
Yeah,
you
so
should
click the
Okay.
custom button.
custom. Yeah, and
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
And you can do 5 minutes and invocations.
So there's no invocation.
yeah, because probably the gateway is not
Okay.
invoke.
Yeah, and there is no trigger. Oh, yeah. Lambda is not triggered by the API, but
Let me know if you guys need a hint. If you guys want to keep going, but I can give you a hint.
Perhaps
Just
if
we
we
need-
look at the actual like method requests configuration and the API gateway. It's been a while since I've worked with API gateway, to be perfectly honest.
I never worked with that, so
Yeah.
okay. What I just see here is that there is no trigger for this API. So yeah, that API gateway should trigger it, but
Unfortunately, you only have read-only access, but I will tell you that that is not the issue.
that's not the
That
issue.
is-
Okay.
This user interface would not fix the problem I've got for you here.
Oh, I don't see.
You guys ready for a hint or going?
Yeah. Sure.
I'm staring at the smoking gun, and it is in CloudWatch logs. Now, we obviously have checked the Lambda's CloudWatch logs, but what's upstream of that?
The API gateway logs.
There you go. That's what I'd
But-
recommend doing.
Yeah, but I thought we had checked that in the beginning.
Yeah.
Or there were error. Maybe there is no error in the logs, but
Yeah.
I mean there is no error word in the logs.
We checked
I think
a long time ago. I don't know, like
I think we need to filter down to more recent.
It is
maybe-
on the
There we
screen
go.
right now.
Invalid permissions on
Yeah, I
Lambda
see.
function.
Okay, maybe we just went too quickly for the logs.
Permission.
So that means likely the API gateway doesn't have permissions to
Yeah.
execute the Lambda.
Mm. So
Some relationship like that.
yeah. The reward that is provided to the API Lambda, to the API gateway. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know why it's set up. So I have to-
Well, see, there are two ways in which permissions work. Sometimes we need to, maybe in the Lambda, allow the gateway to access the Lambda. Sorry, in the Lambda, we allow the gateway to access the Lambda or the other way around. So I'm not sure in this case where we would set up the permission, but we could start off by checking the Lambda. Maybe there is a role that where we can allow the.
Yeah, I guess it's the API that doesn't have the role, the proper privilege to call the Lambda function in the first place.
Yeah, but maybe what I'm trying to say is that sometimes the permission has to be assigned on the Lambda itself, like to be.
Yeah, a resource-based policy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's.
API gateway for your resource.
But could you go to the Lambda? Maybe it's.
Yeah,
set
I
up.
can go to Lambda and look at the Lambda.
Yeah.
The REST array, right?
No, under permissions,
Is it-
maybe there is a resource-based policy.
Yeah.
Just for the record, Juan, you're nailing
No,
it.
no.
You did find it. That is where the problem is.
Also with system.
So I can take it from here and drive if you'd like.
Yeah, you have to have permission for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just have read-only access, but I'll show you how I'd fix it in this case.
Okay.
And so Juan was exactly right. IAM rules tell you what the resource that's invoking it can do, but there's also a second layer that's the resource-based permissions, and that says what can invoke this resource, basically. So if we go to functions, explode me, we go down to configurations, permission, like you went straight there. Down here, we're missing something. So we need to let a certain AWS service, specifically API gateway, access this thing. Source, normally you'd put in something like the API gateway's full ARN there. I happen to have it handy because I know exactly what I'm doing here for once. And this is going to be invoke, I believe. Invoke. Let me invoke. There it is. Invoke. Save. Statement ID. Whatever. API gateway. Match. Okay. So I just gave it a random statement ID there. And let's see what happens now. There we go.
Nice.
Cool. And so trying to stick with the theme of the network diagram, basically there was a permission set on this guy that, well, obviously that says, hey, API gateway can access me, and I nuked it and it's gone. So then nothing can invoke it. And that indeed was the problem. So Cool. Questions?
No, I'm just wondering about the setup with the API gateway to the Lambda, because you have a setup where the Lambda that is going to invoke it is like dynamic, doing some string interpolation, but maybe maybe we could have a scenario with where that's done in the normal way.
I'm not going to lie.
Because the string interpolation is maybe not too common of a setup.
That
Maybe
is
just-
one. If we went faster, that's one I've got lined up. I was going to change the stage variable name on you to dev, which there's no dev lambda right now. And even if there was, the permissions wouldn't allow it. So it would blow up. So yes, very good one. You're solving them before I even throw them at you. All right. And that's that. They solved it and even solved the next one that I didn't even use that one, it turned out. So we've got one more video coming from the February event for the advanced round where Juan and Jonathan get to go at it and try and solve something. I'm tempted to give you hints, but I'll try not to. That one should be out later this week. So again, remember to sign up at cloudwargames.com if you want to get in on any of these live events, all right? I'm already talking to recruiters and people like that are very interested in these things. If you're a recruiter or you'd like to have me come in and do one of these trainings for your company, you have a tech team and you want me to come in and train them up, let me know. That's what I do. You can check me out at schematical.com. That's about it. All right. Sign up. Check it out. Get on the next live event. Cheers.